All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're in treat for a real fun show here on Sportswire Radio because our guest here tonight, haven't had him on for a while, but if I'm not mistaken, he was actually my last guest of 2022, and I have no doubt tonight he's going to be one of our most impactful guests of 2023 because he is holding gold there. That's right, gold from our friends over at the CWE Championship Wrestling Entertainment. He is one half of their tag team champions, and he is going to be a huge part of things in a number of different wrestling companies. You've seen him in places like CCW, you've seen him in places like Bolton Town Wrestling, and of course, our friends over at GT Ministries, who have a huge show coming up on May the 20th at Coronation. And he is certainly no stranger to us. He needs no further introduction, but because he is a champion, we're going to give it to him anyway. So, without further ado here on the Sports Report, the number one level sports show, one half of the CWE's Tag Team Champions of the World, from the modern day Mafia, Cobra. The champ is here. Congratulations.
Thank you, Rev. What an announcement and what a welcoming. So thank you.
Well, certainly, it's been a while since you've been on here. It's actually been like 4 or 5 months. I'm like, I got to give him a bigger intro than the last one. And obviously, people are already tuned in. They want to say hello. We have a lot to talk about tonight, my friend. Obviously, I'm going to run the gauntlet here of a number of different companies that the Mafia is going to make a huge impact on. I have no doubt in the coming weeks, but I want to talk about it, obviously, because you guys won the Tag Team Championships a couple of short weeks ago. And for those that are listening and watching on Sportswire Radio, talk about what it means to be one half of the CWE's Tag Team Champions.
Well, firstly, this is the modern day Mafia's first taste of gold. It won't be our last taste of gold, but it's our first, and it's one you never forget. You know, you never forget your first year, Tom.
Absolutely. No, listen, I mean, I just hope to get there as much as you guys have. But I mean, we've spoke about this in the past. Obviously, we've talked about you guys should have had gold. The Mafia should have got shots. This, and that. We've seen what you guys have done in GT Ministries. We've seen what you guys have done in CCW. Actually, you guys are kind of, in a way, responsible for that whole kind of change, or maybe different in a way, with now Grayson Riley and the Working Class Militia. But, I mean, was this long overdue in a way? I mean, I almost feel like that this was something that should have happened months ago, and it's finally happened. I think it's going to, in a way, kind of set it an even bigger 2023. Now, as crazy as it sounds, champ, we're going to go into the second half of 2023 very soon. So I think this is only going to be the first of many championships.
100%. I mean, we did get robbed. We got robbed before. And, you know, like any champion, you learn from your losses. And that's what we did. You know, we hired Uncle Ralph. He has actually led us now to the promised land. So, Uncle Ralph, if you're listening, thank you. You know, we believe what you say.
You know what? I'm glad you brought him up because he is here. And I think in a lot of ways, and I remember saying this with you, I think he's kind of the stir that straws the drink because his experience. He knows champions. He knows how to get to the promised land. He knows how to get to the main event. And he also knows how to stay as a champion. And that's why I think Uncle Ralph really is this addition, in addition to another addition we're going to get to here, kind of puns intended here in a few minutes. But I mean, I think Uncle Ralph is really, in a lot of ways, kind of set you guys into where you need to be.
100%. You know, like I say, we had a few mishaps. We had a few issues. Uncle Ralph is like the glue now that's bonding the modern day Mafia. Obviously, the Don, he's a busy man. Obviously, he's got Mafia things he needs to attend to. We don't mention that. So Uncle Ralph is giving us that coaching, but the Don is always there in the background as well, you know, giving us that final nudge, shall we say.
Well, let me get to a ton of comments here because people want to talk to you. Because every time you make an appearance, definitely people are tuned in. MDF finally have gold. I could not agree with you more. Evening, gentlemen, from our friend Mr. Michael Knows. Michael is usually at the Nonstop Action Wrestling shows. I think have we seen him at Wrestling Church? Maybe we have. And of course, somebody I definitely owe an appearance to in the coming weeks here. Mr. Gareth Angel says, yes, Joel, legend. Congrats on the tag titles, brother. Hello, Tom and Joel Cobra from Casey Jack Bradley, who I think is back at training in GTM, so good on him. Love Uncle Ralph. Uncle Ralph. I think he meant to say love you and Uncle Ralph. Andrew Hanley, always love Andrew. Certainly want to extend our wishes to Andrew because somebody he knows is obviously going through an injury, so I want to make sure we give him a big, big shout out. Good evening, everyone. He also wants to say, just want to say MDM are killing it. A legitimate draw in both BTW and GTM, which I'm going to be getting to GTM in a few minutes. I can tell you for a fact MDM is money. Well, we've known that here on Sportswire. We've had you on here several times. Also says here, before I get to another individual, I'm going to save him in a couple of minutes, but careful guidance by the Don and I has borne fruit. I mean, talk about, now don't tell me what they've said to you, or don't even tell me anything about the Don, right? Because I always said this before last time you came, being from New York and the Don and the Mafia, we always get a little bit of superstition there. But when it comes to Uncle Ralph, I mean, how many times have you asked him about, being a champion or getting to that moment and kind of maybe staying there? I mean, what advice has he given you without giving it away?
He's basically said to us, stay hungry and stay humble. Old is gold at the end of the day, Rev.
That's true. No, listen, that is certainly true. And I guess in a way, maybe you guys learned a little bit from what the working class militia had in their mistakes with certainly Uncle Ralph, because we saw what happened with the militia. You guys were in the ring with them many times. And obviously, in a way, you guys are kind of, and maybe some have responsibility for that whole breakup there in CCW, but maybe you've learned from him in a way on what not to do as champions.
100%. And just going back to the militia, sorry, boys, the better team won, eh?
Well, maybe in a way, and I hate to say this, maybe in a way it was for the better for both teams, because think about Mr. Riley. I mean, I almost should ask you on the spot. I mean, speaking of another champion, what's your impressions there of the current CCW champion, Mr. Grayson Riley? When you were in the ring with him, he was DB Riley, but now he's Grayson Riley. So what's your impressions there?
I think after the loss that they suffered with us, I think we unlocked some monster from Riley, which he always had in him. Maybe Slugger held him back. Maybe he just didn't know his own potential. And maybe eventually that's what's got him to the heavyweight championship. He's smashing it right now and he's doing a good job. Will our paths cross? I'm hoping so.
Well, we'll get to that. Definitely, no question that we will certainly get to that here. Let me get to some more comments because people really want to talk to you right now. Love training with Joel. Always a pleasure, and I hope to be in the ring with him someday. Absolutely. Also, want to give a shout out to another person I see in multiple companies, Pride. Pride, obviously, we saw in the BBC documentaries. It is good to see you holding titles, Mr. Cobra. Enough work between the ropes has been put in for that and yet more. All right, let me ask this question separately, because Pride's always here, and I want to give him a chance, because obviously Pride is in a number of different companies, and I really am impressed with what he's kind of done in his time. But for you especially, because we've talked about this, we've gone through some injuries, we've gone through some different obstacles. I mean, does this hold maybe extra sentiment, or does it feel extra special, kind of from what you've gone through here over the past, let's say, 9 or 10 months?
100%. It means all the sacrifice, all the pain, all the rehab has all come through. It's been worth it to get this, to hold this. We're not letting this go. We're not going to let this go. You'll have to take it out of my cold, dead hands to let this title go.
Well, considering the size of you, considering the way you look, I mean, I'm certainly not going to disagree with that, Mr. Cobra. So let me come back to some more comments before I get to an individual. Obviously, you're a cohort here in the Mafia, Mr. Dave Douglas. Always love Dave Douglas, my Mafia brother. This individual says here, so good to see a real champion on your show, the Don. Now, Would you like to say anything toward that? Obviously, we want to give our sentiments here in regards to the Don because, well, he's the Don, right? But I mean, anything you might want to say to the Don, or anything we should know of?
We did it, Don. You know, the hard work, the sacrifice that you've put being going in behind the scenes, we've done it. And this finally, it's dedicated to you, Don. It's dedicated to you.
Wow. Dedicating it to the Don. I'm sure the Don out there is hearing this and is very happy. More comments here. Uncle Ralph will bring out the best in the MDM, whether by a kind word or the cane. I will say the cane might be something I would certainly pay attention to. And all right, I got two comments here. I want to read one more off here before we get to the these certain individuals. What can we expect from the MDM? All three members, Joel, Jave, and AJ Grimm. Maybe we'll spend time on this first. Can we expect one of you to take a singles title and become the bloodline of British wrestling? All right. What's your impression of it? Obviously, we got Tag Gold, but we've also added AJ Grimm here. AJ, we've seen in GTM, also in Bolton Town. And I mean, what's your thoughts on a comment like this?
At the end of the day, the MDM are hungry. You know, we want more gold, whether it be tag, whether it be singles, we don't care. We want the gold. We'll challenge for the gold. We'll go anywhere. And these belts will be defended anywhere. We will be fighting champions. We learned that just like the working class militia. We'll give them their due. You know, there was fighting champions. So are we. We are the mafia. We will fight anywhere, anyone, anytime, any place.
All right, let me ask you a slight question on that here when it comes to you guys' run versus the working class militia. Obviously, they were the CCW champs, but I kind of think in a lot of ways they put CCW on the map in some of these other companies, especially in GTM as an example. We saw them also separately in NSAW. So those are some places that I kind of think they helped put on the map. Do you feel as a responsibility, let's say, in comparison to with the CWE being their tag team champions, that you guys, because we've seen you guys in several companies, I would say of almost everybody there on that roster, you and Dave Douglas especially have been in multiple companies here. Do you feel responsibility maybe to go and help put the CWE on the map in those titles in these different promotions?
100%. You know, we're representing CWE now. We're the tag team division. We're the pinnacle of the CWE tag team division. So wherever we go, we fight with pride. We fight for, you know, the modern day mafia. But we also go and we represent the CWE.
Absolutely, no question about that. I have a ton of comments here, so you know I'm gonna wait till those juicy comments here. But somebody said, "Have you ever considered the NSAW tag team title?" Well, that's up to Nonstop Action Wrestling because you know we did speak about this in the past. I mean, kind of what happened there in terms of you and NSAW, I don't know, but maybe that's up to Joshua Snow. I mean, that's up to him.
I mean, we would consider the NSAW championship. It's just a matter of getting our dates right and obviously, you know, making sure, you know, the stars align and we make it to that show.
Absolutely.
We're happy to work there. Not, you know, that's not a problem.
Sure. No, listen, I mean, obviously, look, you guys are busy wrestlers. You guys are the champions. So certainly, I think at this point now you're going to be a lot of people are going to want you here, undoubtedly. But let me get actually to somebody who does his own show. He's actually commenting here, a rare comment from Mr. Chris Lappin himself. Trained with Joel at the Island Temple on Sunday. Very impressive. Well, we knew that already anyway about you, but you want to share anything about that? Obviously, the host of Broken But Glorious Wrestling, Mr. Chris Lappin. Obviously, seen him on a number of the different wrestling shows. I've seen him at pretty much a who's who of companies. I've seen him interview a who's who of wrestlers. And anything you might want to share about that experience, or even Mr. Lappin. I saw last year he was with Lance Rivera, the Playboy Prince. I know the Playboy Prince was giving him a couple of different pointers in the ring. But anything you might want to share about that experience?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if you're around the Liverpool area, definitely a place to check out and go train. Great atmosphere, great trainer, you know, just really good vibe. And if you're wanting to learn the ropes and run them, check them out. Definitely check them out.
All right, fair enough here. We'll make sure everybody does that as well. Also here, want to give a shout out to one of my more recent guests, then one of my upcoming guests, Hammerhead Smith. Congratulations on your title win, Joel. I am sure one day I'll step in the ring with you and Douglas versus. You know, that would be a match I would love to see sometime. Hammerhead Smith. I know he's not really much of a tag team guy, but Hammerhead Smith and whoever it might be against you and and Dave. I mean, that would be a really, really intriguing match. That'd almost be like a bucket list kind of match almost, no?
100%. You know, I respect Hammerhead Smith. You know, he's a second generation superstar. The guy's got talent in abundance. So to just step through the ropes with him, it'd be an honor. But unfortunately, it'd be a painful.
It definitely would be painful, and I'll give a big shout out to Hammerhead because I think Hammerhead's wrestling literally like every weekend now for the next like 2 months, and on top of that, I think he's in the Alba Championship Wrestling title match. He's in the Firestar Championship Wrestling title match. He's also in a number of other companies that I've known. CCW, we saw his most recent promo, and also he held that title there. And on top of that, he wrestled last year the Billington Bulldogs right before they went to Major League Wrestling. So we know that we'll see Mr. Hammerhead with a big, big star ahead. And my guest coming up here Friday night, which is Champagne Charlie, one half of the first class. Now, that would be a first class of a matchup. Bravo from one champion to another. I doff my cap. However, don't be surprised if the first class eyes look in your direction. Is that a challenge or a threat, you think?
Lemonade Larry giving it the big licks. I like it. Listen, anytime, any place. Anytime, any place, Lemonade Larry. Let's do it.
Wow, Lemonade Larry. Boy, that is strong words for Champagne Charlie. I guess Friday Night Live in your chair, and this time we'll have him the opportunity to respond. One thing you can all expect from MDM is more gold. I think that's pretty much the best statement here. Do you have ambitions toward holding multiple tag titles or are satisfied with just one? There are several companies debuting titles soon, currently vacant. What's your response to that?
In words of Uncle Ralph, stay humble and stay hungry. We are hungry for more gold. This is not the first. This will not be the last. We are coming for the titles. The tag team division now on the British scene, you're on notice.
You know, it's funny you said that here because I kind of think sometimes the hardest thing to do, champ, is to win that first one. Because then what happens is you got to get that monkey off your back, and then you're able to go after 1 or 2 or 3 other championships, and whether it's in any other promotion you think about. Fill in the blanks. You could talk about all the different companies that we work with on Sportswire, and Pride even makes the point. There's some other companies out there that are also on the horizon. I know next month, wink, wink, that are going to also be debuting, which I have no doubt you guys may or may not be a part of. And I kind of think it might just be the springboard. It's the easy part has kind of gotten out of the way. Do you feel now that the easy part has gotten out of the way of winning that first tag title, and maybe now there'll be multiples on the horizon also?
Well, I'm going to go, Tom, with an old saying my dad used to say when I played rugby. It's easy to get the shirt. The hardest thing is keeping that shirt. Just like the belt, it was easy to get. The hardest thing now is us defending this gold and getting more gold.
I want to, first of all, speaking of another champion, I want to actually springboard on him very quickly here to Sportswire because I've had him on, but I haven't had him on in ages, and I feel like I owe him an appearance. There's a lot of people I owe things. Speaking of the Don, speaking of people I owe things, right, too. But our LWF champion, Mr. Eitan Steen, and what a match that was, and how he took the title, getting his first victory over some guy that I used to call jokingly as a Jack Johnson clone or Jack Johnson knockoff. I guess he goes by the name of Anthony Getsky these days. Also, hi boys, flying visit. Just wanted to say hello, and then I'm a big Joe Cobra fan. We all are Joe Cobra fans, but you've seen Eitan, especially in the TWA and in Bolton Town. And anything you want to say toward Mr. Steen? He's our new LWF champion, and any thoughts toward that?
Congratulations on the LWF Heavyweight Championship. It's great to see your hard work, just like us, has paid off. Champion from one champion to another champion. Fair play to you.
Absolutely. Congratulations to Mr. Eitan Steen, and certainly long overdue. He has done a lot in a short amount of time, and I certainly feel like I owe him an appearance. Also here, Dead Right Son. So I think that's a shout out to you from somebody you know very well, kind of a wink, wink. Uncle Ralph says, the rapport between the fans and the MDM at GT Ministries is phenomenal. This shall be extended throughout British wrestling. Talk about your relationship with the fans, especially for you in the city of Bradford. Why is the MDM so beloved in GTM?
Because we give the people of Bradford something to believe in. We fight for the little person. You know, like I said, everyone's got a price. We are hired hands, and we make them people stand up. We put Bradford on the map. We put Manchester on the map because of where we go and our beliefs and how we fight.
No question about that. We have a big show coming up here on May the 20th called Coronation. You can follow GT Ministries at GT Ministries UK on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and much, much more. MDM, our love to GTM. Can't wait to wear an MDM shirt at GTM. And I can't wait one day to wear an MDM shirt because I'm wearing my Gareth Angel shirt because obviously a GTM, but one day, wink, wink, there might be an MDM shirt I'm wearing on a Sportswire show. So stay tuned for that.
It is on the way, actually, Tom. It's been posted today.
Well, it's funny you say this because I've got your shirt on the way, and I've got my guest next Friday, Jenna's shirt on the way as well. And then I've got Thursday, I've got Jenny Hayes, the rock idol of the UK, and I've got her CD. She gave me her CD. I'm going to talk about that Thursday with her. So everybody's giving us things on Sportswire. But I want to also show some love to our chairman, obviously our owner and promoter of the CWE, Mr. Joshua Howard, and talk about the opportunity that Mr. Howard has given you in winning these tag team titles in the CWE.
So he put us in an opportunity where not many people would put us. You know, he gave us that chance to go up against, let's be honest, we went up against Kenzie, the academy champion at CWE.
We're getting to that. We are getting to that in a few minutes. We're getting to that. I promise you.
You know, Josh Howard now has put the tag team division, his faith in us. And for that, we need to repay him. You know, we're very grateful of Josh Howard and, of course, Ellie Howard, who did a fantastic job at that show. You know, ran around like crazy. So,
tell me your thoughts on this as we're here with Joel Cobra, one half of the CWE's tag team champions. I want everybody to please follow the Modern Day Mafia on Instagram, Facebook, also all these great companies that they represent, the CWE, Bolton Town Wrestling, GT Ministries especially. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryson. And tell me your thoughts on this. I kind of see in the atmosphere and the vibe some similarities between the CWE and GTM. And for me, some of the similarities come down to the message. Obviously, the GTM message is about the church, bringing people together in the Word of God. With the CWE, it's about charity, doing right things for the community. Maybe it's not a religious message, but it's a message in kind of helping the community, doing the right thing, giving opportunities to others that may need that help. And I mean, talk about maybe some of the similarities you might see, whether it's in the message or just that overall kind of idea of the CWE and GTM.
It's very, very, very similar. You know, like you say, the only difference is there's no religion on that side. However, you know, there is a belief there. There's the belief to help the community. Just like religion, we help the community. CWE help the people of Fleetwood. You know, it's been a great honour to represent CWE as their tag champions.
Absolutely, no question about that. And I also want to give a plug and also a happy belated birthday. Speaking of people I owe to via wrestling shirt, and forgive me, Callum and Jakes, to the upgrade, because we saw him at Wrestling Church against Gareth Edge, which, by the way, was one of the best matches. And Callum did a phenomenal job at Wrestling Appreciation Society's Deadline show. Did a phenomenal job. Had a turn of well over 100 people there. Did a great job there at the University of Huddersfield. He has a new site for his T-shirt. I know everybody at this point I owe to buy a T-shirt. There's so many people I owe things to at this point when it comes to plugs and promotions, but add Callum to the list and also add him very soon to Sportswire. And happy birthday to you, Callum and Jakes. I hope you had a smashing birthday. I hope you do even more great things in the ring, and I can't wait to have you back on Sportswire Radio. And may have to bring Throwdown Nation to meet the Modern Day Mafia. So, you know anything about this? May have to bring Throwdown Nation out here. Anything about this? You know anything?
He can bring who he wants.
Okay, all right, fair enough here. Dave Douglas also wants to say Modern Day Mafia. I think that's the plug on Facebook and Instagram as well. I also wanted to actually ask you something before I do what I'm going to do in a second. But if you don't mind me asking this, I saw this a couple of months ago, and I hope this isn't too personal, but in GT Ministries, we saw Wrestling Church, and people were getting baptized. And I kind of wanted maybe in a way to promote what GT Ministries does, if I could, because I really think when I saw the wrestling church and you were getting baptized in the water, and some of the other wrestlers, obviously Jack Johnson has famously talked about what GT Ministries has meant in a lot of ways, giving him this home and helping him. I know that other people may not really know this about Jack Johnson, but kind of how he's changed his life, and he's really become somebody that a lot of people can look up to. And maybe talk about that aspect, because I kind of thought it was really touching a couple of months ago when we saw in Wrestling Church how you and others were baptized there. And I mean, just talk about what that means to you on a personal level.
I've always had a belief that there was something out there and there was a reason. Now, back in the day, I used to go to church. I was quite a religious guy, but like most people, you lose your way. When you're a teenager, it's not cool to go to church. It's not cool to, go to be I suppose, a God bother, as they say, And as you get older, you appreciate the small things in life. You appreciate the people that are there for you, the community aspect, the people who actually have your back, who, when you're not in a room, they're still fighting for your corner. And for me, that's what GTM, and that's what Gareth's put into GTM, is creating a family away from your family. And that's the way I see GTM. And it just felt right to be baptized. And to be fair, we're an honour to get baptized with my brother, Jack Johnson, who, he's turned his life around and he's also paid the MDM. So, we're all cool.
All right, well, I'm happy he paid. Listen, I'm happy he paid you guys off, but I really wanted to just say something about it, because I really felt that everything we've done with GTM over the past year and a half, and really what GT Ministries does, and kind of how the company is just progressing, where it's now going outside the Fountains Church, and kind of just the home it gives to people. Obviously, we saw the documentary and we saw what it does, but I just wanted to take a step and kind of really thank everybody here when it comes to GT Ministries and the hard work. Obviously, you're a part of it here, and I have people that wanted to talk about that here. And GTM is one of the biggest families, and I love all of my friends at GTM. And I think that's what's so special about GT Ministries, is that it's not just about Wrestling Church. It's not just about wrestling, and it's about everything else in life, and that's why we love GT Ministries here. But I do have some more comments. I could spend all day on this, but I just wanted to spend a few minutes on it. But I do, first of all, kind of in a way want to get back to this individual, because you and him have certainly had some interesting back and forth exchanges, you might want to say, in the CWE. And that is, his name is the Big Cheese Logan. He's also the CWE's UK champion. And he says, first of all, the champ is here. Good evening, Reverend. Anything you might want to say to this individual? Obviously, he had a few comments. You've had a few things to say about him on stream. You're in the chair now, and I'm giving you the floor now to say something to the Mr. Big Cheese.
Cheesy. Mate, what is your issue? Like, what's the problem? That's what I want to know. What's the problem? He saw me and Douglas deep in conversation with Uncle Ralph, and he wanted to barge his way through. It's like, dude, just show a bit of respect. Have a bit of class. You're a champion now, have a bit of class. Obviously, you become a champion, you must lose the aspect of class. What can I say?
Do you think maybe that the Big Cheese, in a way that maybe he doesn't want to acknowledge you guys? Do you think that the Big Cheese, maybe even he sees you guys as a competition or a threat? It's actually somebody that's as big as him, and he can't really just expect everybody to just kind of roll over and give him the carpet and pretty much everything else that he's used to getting. You think maybe that's what it is?
If he wants to be acknowledged, he needs to go about it the right way. And the way he went about it at CWE Reborn, that was the wrong way. I'm open for a discussion with the Big Cheese, and so is my associate Dave Douglas, and even Uncle Ralph. We don't mind having a little chat if you want to have a chat.
Like now, he called you guys bullies. I mean, what's your response to that?
It's not really bullying, is it, really? All we did, if he's referring to the match at CWE, we set a statement. La Flama, Kenzie, they were in the ring. They had something that we wanted to get, which is this. We had to send a statement. We had to be ruthless. We had to be brutal. And I'm going to be honest with you. Their academy champion, Kenzie, he brought the fight. I underestimated that kid, and he surprised me. It's not many of it. And I get put down, and yeah, he put me down.
Yeah, I've known you a while. I have to say, I've known you a while, and I've watched you in the ring quite a bit. And we obviously got a chance to watch the match that was on the Big Cheese's YouTube page at Mad Manx. And I've seen you obviously quite a bit in GTM. I've seen you in Bolton Town, and you don't say that too often. And I don't actually recall you ever saying that altogether. What you just said about Kenzie.
No, the kid surprised me. The kid's got a bright future. He's what, 15, 16 years old? He's a big boy. And you know what? With some proper training, like he's been doing, grafting hard, the future's way up there for that kid. I just hope he sticks at it.
Okay, all right. Fair enough here. That's why I want everybody to follow the
he deserves a lot of respect, and I'll give him that.
And we certainly want to give the CWE their respect. We want everybody to follow the CWE at Championship Wrestling Entertainment on Facebook. Also, official_CWE_. Also, the Modern Day Mafia MDM on Instagram, and like their page on Facebook. But I did have a comment from an individual related to the CWE before I get to further comments, because people really want to talk to you. And that is the Necessary Evil Palmer. Now, I know you know Mr. Palmer, and I'm sure you're aware that Mr. Palmer trained Kenzie, who's our current Academy champion, and he would like to say, hey, Cobra, maybe I'll find myself a partner and come for those CWE tag titles. I mean, what do you say towards something like that when it comes to the Necessary Evil Palmer? I mean, what's your impressions of that comment?
Well, it's really unnecessary, and let's just be honest. I mean, you know what? Yeah, you taught Kenzie. I mean, you can tell you taught him to lose. Did you not lose to Big Cheese? So you've taught him how to lose. How about Logan, the Big Cheese, teaches him how to win? Just put it out there,
Interesting words here. Has the Bible Club been over to GT Ministries Wrestling? I'm not sure the reference here. I'm gonna move on from some of those comments. I just don't know. I'm sorry. I don't know where I'm going here with that. Evening, Tom Bryce from Colin McGregor of CCW, which I want to get to in a few minutes. I definitely do want to bring up CCW because I had some questions about that. How's the knee holding up from Colin McGregor also? The knee looked pretty good in the CWE. It looked like it was fine to me.
Yeah, so that was 6 weeks after an operation that I'm back, half brutalizing people. Couple more weeks. I'm going to be back 100. It's going to be a different Cobra than you've never seen before, Tom. I can promise you that.
Well, I'll tell you what, a quarter of you is still going to be bigger than me. It's still going to be better than me. It's still going to be better than me. And I think for most people in the ring, it's probably going to be the same thing here. And somebody I want to give a big shout out to also, who's the former BTW World Champion. I guess I guess you put him in the record books as the former BTW Champion. And what a match he had. Speaking of tag teams, him and Gung Ho Muttley put on a match with Slugger Hampton and Caleb there. I mean, that was a match, I want to say, and I think I said this on Facebook, it might have been, maybe, with all due respect, the greatest tag team match I've ever seen in GT Ministries. That is, of course, Maverick, Matt Williams, and happy anniversary, buddy. Round 2, same result. What do you say to that, by the way? And I think, did we lose you there, Mr. Cobra? Are you frozen in time there? Maybe it's the happy anniversary from the 1-year comment. Are you there, Joe Cobra? There you go, Joe Cobra. Are you there?
There we go. Okay, apologies, I don't know what happened.
Yeah, it's okay. So basically, comment here. What do you say to that?
It's a happy anniversary. Anytime, any place, Maverick. Anytime, any place. But yeah, going back to the GTM comment of the Maverick and Gung Ho, it were a banger of a match. Yeah. I was there front row and centre, keeping an eye on competition, and it made me a fan of wrestling Put it
Oh,
that
that
way. It was a
match,
great
I mean, just what those guys were able to do in a tag team match. To be able to just have those continued offense, the back and forth there. I mean, I don't know if I've seen even, I'll even go further in saying in pro wrestling this year, I don't care if it's in the UK, I don't care if it's in America, Japan, you name a territory, a company. I think that was, frankly, pound for pound, one of the best tag team matches I saw the entire year.
No, it was a great match, and they both showed a lot of heart. It meant something to them both. So yeah, fair play to you both. To both teams there.
All right, here. Let me get to some more comments here. Hopefully, your audio issues and video issues are being fixed as we speak. My first experience of GT Ministries was my affiliation with the working class militia. Since becoming involved with the MDM, to hear the fans chant my name now after the hard time they gave me with the working class militia is truly humbling. Yeah, GTM, there's just something about that audience. There's something about that environment there that I just think is really special. And that's why I really wanted to highlight that company. And I'll always continue to highlight GT Ministries. And please follow them, GT Ministries UK, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. But I do have some more comments here. Also, so the clarification was, sorry, the Bible Club is a tag team in the Christian Wrestling Federation in Texas. Okay, I apologize about that. So, I mean, maybe one day, if the Mafia were to go into the stateswide, maybe the Christian Wrestling Federation. All right, I appreciate that, JR. Thank you for this. Then I apologize.
Hey, we'll go to Texas. We'll take your gold.
I might have to meet you there. I think I might have to meet you there. So we'll have to do that here. I want to give a shout out to another big man who allowed our video here to be shared. He is the host of the Sports Authorities group. His name is John Gonzalez. John is a big man in his own right, but John doesn't do wrestling, but he's a security guard. He does some bouncing also on the side, also a veteran. Says, greetings, gentlemen. Thank you, John, for your support. Also, I have here, any new wrestlers or trainees you are looking forward to seeing in wrestling soon?
There's a few. There's far too many to mention.
I think you mentioned one. You mentioned one you were in the ring with, Kenzie.
Yeah, Kenzie's he's definitely the future of the industry. I can see him being quite a big star. So yeah, maybe Kenzie. I want to see more of Kenzie.
I'll also throw out there somebody you've seen in GT Ministries, that is Supersonic Sammy Blue, and another guy that seems to be, I guess, repeatedly a part of things in the CCW, Cutlery Championship Wrestling, who got himself actually 5 minutes of fame in GTM by getting a beatdown from Gareth Angel and Jack Johnson. Dan Robertson. Dan Robertson has actually made himself a huge part of things in CCW. They'll be my two guys as a bonus that we've seen in GT Ministries. That would be my two names.
Oh, yeah. The guy who dresses as Deadpool or...
Yeah, that's him. Yeah, that's the guy. Yep.
Yeah. He gets around. He's like one of them flies, and you just need to swat it away.
Yeah, that's him pretty much. That's actually a fair statement here. Very fair statement. Also here, Maverick Matt Williams says, appreciate the praise. Yeah, I feel like I owe you one Sportswire, so I feel like you and Gung Ho. I've had Gung Ho in the past, but I'm really impressed about the future of what you guys will do. But first, we're at the Modern Day Mafia. And yes, the USA has a good ring too. Because you know what? If Jenna can come to the USA, why the hell not can the Mafia? Franco Varga, I see pretty much everywhere. Why not the Mafia? I mean, listen, why not? Future John Gonzalez. This is an inside joke. I don't even know if I should do this, but I'll do it anyway. Future wrestling star, the Brute Force. See, Joel, I have a friend that I'm going to be on the air with actually later tonight. He was a basketball player here in America. He was a university basketball player. He's a big guy like you. He might even be a little taller, but he doesn't have the muscular weight that you have or the tattoos. But his name is the Brute Force Brad Weiss, and John kind of wants to put like every wrestler I have on against him in a ring to beat him up. But he even said actually a couple of days ago, he's like, look, I'm not a wrestler. So, I mean, that's kind of, that's what John wants. But, yeah, I would feel sorry for the Brute Force if he saw you in a back alley or in a wrestling ring. That's all.
It'd be amusing.
It would be amusing, certainly.
For a bit.
You probably could, for sure. Hammerhead Smith, Kenzo, and Cheese have their own titles to worry about. So it may be down to guys like us to show the MDM what the rights of look like. Wait. Time out here. am I actually hearing that the necessary evil Palmer is recruiting somebody that doesn't work in the CWE, Hammerhead Smith, to take you guys on?
You're going to need an army. You're going to need an army. Because we ain't going to give these up easy. And if you are going to step in front of us, I hope you're ready to fight.
All right, fair enough here. Well, if you are on Sportswire Radio, I want you to give us a like on Facebook at Sportswire Radio. Also, YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube page at Sportswire Radio. And 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you can listen to all of our great content on sportnarium.com/player. And also, again, please follow Joel Cobra on Instagram at Joel_Cobra. Give him a friend request on Facebook. Also, support all the great things from the many companies that he works with, like Bolton Town Wrestling, GT Ministries, Championship Wrestling Entertainment, and maybe even a company called CCW. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. I am the host of the Sports Report, the owner of Sportswire Radio, and I'll be back Thursday night, 8 o'clock, with the rock idol of the UK, Jenny Hayes. Jenny's got some new music she's working on. She has a new album that is out. She's touring all over the place. She's also wrestling. You've seen her in places like UKW, Nonstop Action Wrestling, Wrestling Appreciation Society. She's an up-and-coming star, and she's very well established in the music world, and I look forward to speaking with Jenny on both. But right now, we are having a great time with one half of the CWE Tag Team Champions of the World, Mr. Joel Cobra, who's certainly more tougher than Sylvester Stallone was in the Cobra movie. Very, very famous movie a long time ago, but certainly Mr. Cobra could do a thing or two to Mr. Stallone undoubtedly here. Let me bring up AJ Grimm here because I haven't got a chance to say too much about AJ, and I have a lot to get through here. I know that, but let me say hello to AJ for a second. Enough people want to stand to Joel Cobra and the MDM. Don't blame the bull for running people down. Blame the fools getting in the way. Talk about that, and also talk about what AJ has provided for you guys.
So AJ Grimm was recruited all the way back in January.
I remember.
You know, we've been watching AJ for a while now. And, you know, the Don's been sending people out to watch. Uncle Ralph's been sending people. You know, he's been heavily scouted. AJ Grimm brings a hardcore, crazy, unpredictable side to the MDM that we were kind of lacking. And with AJ Grimm, we've got that unpredictability. We've got that, I wouldn't say street edge. I'd say, because the guy is loco. You know, there's not many things he won't do to get a win. And he's one to watch. He's definitely one to watch.
Absolutely. He's definitely a big man also. He's another guy that I wouldn't want to mess with in a dark alley somewhere. So definitely, if you see AJ, definitely just move out of the way and let him do his thing here. I also have here somebody who says, let's go, Joel. And also I have here Mr. Young Horace, who Young Horace came on here not too long ago. He says, hoping to step into a CWE ring here with you in the future, Mr. Cobra. Is that a wish, or what do you say to that?
I mean, I can make his wish come true, but I'm not paying for his hospital bills.
Ooh, well, those bills would be pretty expensive, correct?
Well, there won't be much left of him either, let's be honest. They'd have to get scraped him off the map. I'm sorry, but if you're going to step in the ring with us right now, you're not going to end well. It's not going to end well for you. You're going to get hurt.
That's almost like, when you cook like pancakes in a frying pan, you try to scrape that last like scrap off it to kind of put on top of the pancake or kind of put it together. That's kind of what you're alleging here. That's not my words. That's Joel Cobra's words here. So let me just put it that way. But we do have some comments here from Mr. Big Cheese Logan. So let me get to them, and then I want to ask you about a couple of different promotions first here. But first, the Big Cheese would like to say, you're bullies. I mean, a few years back, I actually finally got my hands on you one-on-one without your mafia in a rumble before people broke us apart. If you want to fight one-on-one, I'm game.
You did. And as I remember, I mean, it was a while ago, but we were pretty even. It was tit for tat. It was like a good game of chess, a very aggressive game of chess. So, Mr. Cheese, one-on-one, anytime, any place. GTM, if you're listening, get it booked. BTW, if you're listening, get it booked. I'll fight him anywhere. I don't care.
Do you think he wants to fight you anywhere one-on-one, or you think it's kind of him being the bully? Are you saying maybe that he doesn't really want to face you, and that maybe it's just because, again, like I said a few minutes ago, he knows that he doesn't like to go with people one-on-one. He's used to everybody kind of rolling out of the way for him.
Well, he's picked the wrong people. We don't roll for no one. We moved. We did move for him. That was because of Uncle Ralph. We've got a lot of love and respect for Uncle Ralph. So if Uncle Ralph says, let him through this time, there you go. There's your free pass. You've used your free pass. There's no free pass anymore. So let's get it on.
Fair play. Certainly, that's the old late Mills Lane's famous line. Let's get it on. Let's get it on here. Certainly, we'd love to announce that match here. For the record, I would actually like to see you and Mr. Logan in the ring. I would certainly like to see that opportunity, you and the Big Cheese. I would kind of see who's the biggest man. I mean, who's really the big man? Who's the mano a mano? I mean, forget about any big boxing fight. Forget about any big wrestling match. Forget about Lashley and Lesnar. I mean, you and the Big Cheese. I mean, a lot of people would want to see that. I mean, I would certainly want to see it. Okay, that's fighting talk, Palmer and Cobra. Get booking. I think he's referring to Mr. Palmer here earlier on here. Colin McGregor wants to remind me the Liliac Legion and CCW are going to be everywhere soon. All right, you know what? I have more comments from the Big Cheese. I even have comments from somebody I referred to a few minutes ago. But I want to ask you, I mean, what is the future of the modern day mafia and some other companies? CCW comes to mind. Look at what you guys did to the working class militia, even Bolton Town Wrestling. I mean, what is the future of the mafia and some other companies?
Well, here's an exclusive for you, Tom. I'm going to give you an exclusive right now. On June the 30th, Bolton Town Wrestling, Over the Top, myself and Dave Douglas, we're entering ourselves into that rumble. I'm going to come for your gold. So I'll see you on the 30th, Bolton Town.
Wait. Did you just say that you're actually entering along with Dave in the Over the Top Rumble, which is for Jack Johnson's championship? Is that what you're just telling us here on Sportswire Radio live tonight?
Yeah. We are going to go. So if I don't win it, Dave will win it. If Dave don't win it, I win it. If it gets to me and Dave Douglas in the final two, well, it's just business.
You could actually there's a way, I think you can do it, where you guys actually just both eliminate each other at the same time. I mean, who's going to argue that? Maybe you guys could be the co-world champions.
Yeah, maybe. But, me and Dave, we're fighting men. He's the smiling assassin, and he ain't the smiling assassin for no reason.
That is true. Listen, I certainly wouldn't argue that. And I would even have to say that, listen, Lucas Jackson, I'm sure he'd be very happy with the fact, even if you guys were co-champions, because, I mean, we saw what Jack Johnson has done to him, even after what he's done going to his house. I mean, so at this point, I mean, I think nobody would argue with you guys being maybe the favorites here of taking those titles away, and certainly holding the titles simultaneously and getting it from Mr. Johnson.
Well, there you go. We'll find out on June the 30th on Over the Top. Like I say, I'm going there to fight, so I hope everyone's ready.
Well, I'll say this here before I get to more comments. I mean, I think at this point, you guys would have a better chance than Bentley would, because Bentley, in a big match, for whatever reason, these title matches, I mean, he just never comes through. So, I mean, I hate to say this because I'm going to break it here. Bentley's coming on in 2 weeks, and I'm going to talk about Bentley because at Coronation, he's going to be wrestling Disciple. It's his team and Disciple's team, and the outcome of that is if whoever's team wins keeps that championship, and I think the way Bentley goes with his luck, it's kind of hard to see Bentley coming away with it. But you guys have better odds, I would have to say, at this point. So that's here nor there. But Dave Douglas says they need a real team to stand a chance. Too many big egos think they can just get together and be successful. Not against a real team. And you know what? Sometimes you see this component in wrestling where you see single stars, main eventers, they may say, but when they tag team together, it doesn't always work out. But the modern day mafia, they've proven that they can coexist, and nobody's going to stand and tower over them, to say the least. But the man that we just mentioned a few minutes ago says, you guys cheated to win those belts because Uncle Ralph decided to get involved. Your response?
Look, Kenzie, no one likes a sore loser. Now, you're showing your immaturity right there. We didn't cheat. We did what was necessary. Now, Palmer, take a note there. That's necessary. Okay, that's a win. This is gold. Okay, Kenzie, I respect you. I do respect you. But now you're just coming off as a spoiled little brat.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, listen, I'm not going to argue with you again on that. The Big Cheese Logan would like to say, evening, Uncle Ralph. Always paying my respect to the veterans, even though you work with the mafia. Ooh, there he goes again. There he goes again. He also says, oh, here's the third member of the group. What do I call you, Spike Dudley, Crush, or Xavier Woods? If you wanted to, I'm game, Grim. Well, listen, I think that's unfair. To compare him to Crush or Demolition, that's a bit much. And I know that the Big Cheese was with Demolition this past weekend for the love of wrestling, but that's a bit unfair. I have to say that is really, that's almost a low blow.
It's a bit harsh, but I'll tell you what, would he say that to him when he's face to face with AJ?
I don't know about that. I don't know that question. That's a fair play. Hope to see AJ Grimm with some gold. Love seeing him at GTM with the Mafia. Yeah, I definitely think that gold could be in the future. Dave also agrees. AJ Grimm is outstanding. And of course he's going to agree. You guys are a part of things together. But I do actually want to bring up here before I move on, actually, the basketball player that I referenced, because we're actually going to be together at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, which would be 2:30 your time. So you'll be in bed thinking about more championship gold. It is the Brute Force Brad Weiss, former university basketball star here in New York for St. Joseph's Long Island University. He says, great name like his father. Well, his father, Joel, actually was a professional athlete, by the way. His father, Joel, is a big man also, by the way. Big man, not as big as you in the muscular department or the tattoos, but a big man also in his own right. Says, relax there, John Gonzalez. These are champions that I'm talking to on Sportzwire. So he pays his respects. So you got leave him alone. The Brute Force Brad Weiss, he might be a Brute Force, but leave him alone. He deals with the community also. He's teaching kids how to play basketball. He's keeping them off the streets. You know, he's trying to help them get a better life. I think he gets a pass from you guys, right?
He's a champion in his own right. Absolutely. In his own right. He's the community champion. There you go.
He's helping the community like you guys do at GTM and everybody else does in the CWE. He gets a pass. For now, we can leave him alone. Other things, maybe we can have a fair play on. But the Brute Force is okay in our book here. Follow him on Instagram at bweiss20, BradWeiss20 on Twitter, also Facebook, Bradley Weiss, and I'm sure you can see why he's helping the community. MDM are on a roll, but the Giant Killer never steps down from a fight. Hey, listen. You never know. You never know out there. Big Cheese Logan, I advise civilians to keep out of mafia business. If you have to call me something, you can refer to me as the end of your title reign. Well, now, wait. I think I hear something here, Joe Cobra. And we know that the Big Cheese Logan is the CWE UK champion. Now, does that sound like a fair matchup? Because, I'm sure you caught this last week. But the Big Cheese Logan was talking about how he wanted basically anybody to step up to him. It was wrestlers from different companies, different places. Even your dog is probably agreeing with this one here, is the fact that maybe AJ Grimm should want to maybe he should be the one to dethrone the Big Cheese Logan from that UK title he holds. I mean, what do you say to something like that? I mean, after all, the Big Cheese was throwing out open challenges to people last week.
If the Big Cheese really wants to dance with AJ Grimm, God help him. He's not going to end. Well, let's just put it this way. He might have walked out against Palmer, the champion, but AJ Grimm is a different kettle of fish. The guy is a big guy and he moves like a cat.
He definitely does. I've seen him in the ring in GT Ministries, and I'm not arguing with any of that. It was an even battle. I have to say, you hit hard, but eventually, like a woodcutter, I would chop you down. Ooh.
I guess we'll have to find out one day, won't we, Cheese?
Do you think maybe it's gotten to the Big Cheese's head that he's gotten this UK championship? You see him all over the place now. He's hobnobbing with Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Bobby Lashley, and Grayson Waller, Dexter Loomis. All these different wrestlers I see him hobnobbing with. Do you think maybe the championship has gotten to his head?
I think he's not remaining hungry, is he, anymore? He's not remaining humble. He's hobnobbing it. He's forgetting his roots. He used to be from the streets, did Cheese, and now is it mixing with these A-lists.
All right, well, I've got a surprise for you in 2 minutes here because I have some comments first I want to read off. GTM coordination would be an awesome place for this match. Well, that's up to management. My friend. AJ Grimm takes his title back to the modern-day Mafia. Could be. I tell you what, he very well might be. AJ Grimm should enter that Rumble too in Bolton Town. Well, I mean, look, that's obviously we'll have to find out here. John Gonzalez likes this here. The future is golden. Before I get to this surprise I have for you, I want to bring up here Breakout Pro Wrestling. Evening, Mr. Cobra. Looking forward to seeing you tear up the tag division at Breakout. What would you like to say to the fine people at Breakout Pro Wrestling?
June the 11th at the Symphonia Suite, the Modern Day Mafia break out. Very cheesy, I know. But we're going to say this now. On June the 11th, any tag team that is big enough, bad enough, who wants to step up to us, will be in the ring and we'll be waiting. I don't care who you are. Bring it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I mean, certainly it could be a dog day of summer, like, for whoever steps into the ring with one half and the full CWE Tag Team Champions, the Modern Day Mafia. So certainly whoever steps in the ring with Mr. Cobra could very well be having a long day, to put it kindly. Step in the ropes with me, boy. I'll show you what necessary means. You can count on it, brother. Also want to give a big shout out to Mr. Gung Ho Butley. Mr. Cobra, my back still hurts from that choke. So I remember that choke slam, actually. That was last year, if I'm not mistaken, by the way. It was just a little over a year ago.
It was the choke slam heard around the world.
Yes, I listen. I actually still can picture it, but Gung Ho Butley right now might have the best mullet in all of professional wrestling. I think we all can agree on that. He might have the best mullet.
He has got some good locks.
I like it. I have to say, I dig the mullet. I definitely dig the mullet, and we dig everything that Mr. Gung Ho does with Maverick Matt Williams. I'll give Logan his due. He's become a great ambassador for the CWE. And good evening, gentlemen, from the Lawman Kyle Kennedy. Unfortunately, I want to give my regards and well wishes to the Lawman Kyle Kennedy. Unfortunately, he had an injury at the Wrestling Appreciation Society show, and we hope he has a speedy recovery. And I definitely want to get him on when he feels better. And definitely want to acknowledge the Lawman Kyle Kennedy, who was part of the Tag Team Champions in Nonstop Action Wrestling. So we hope to see the Lawman back out there in the ring. And also, Dave Douglas would like to say it takes a real man to wear a mullet. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I've seen a mullet as good as since what? I guess Mike Awesome, maybe. Mike Awesome had a mullet famously in ECW. But you know what? I got all this, and I realize our time is coming close to an end here. So I have a surprise for you, Mr. Cobra. And this person you've referred to a bit here throughout the past hour. This individual had some things to say about you last week on the show. And he's a fellow champion from the CWE. And he's the UK champion, the man that you spoke about quite a bit tonight. And that is Mr. Big Cheese Logan. And he wants to say hello before we get to closing thoughts. And he might have a few things to say to you, Mr. Joel Cobra. And the Big Cheese, I'm going to give you the floor now that you have a chance to confront Joel Cobra.
Well, the real champ is here while I'm watching the chump on the screen. How's it going, Rev? Good evening, by the way. How's it going, chump? You're going to take your glasses off and look me in the eyes properly, eh?
Yeah, you want me to look you in the eyes, dear boy?
Yeah. Yeah, I see that fear.
You see that
fear. I see that fear. The real champ, any of your modern day mafia, Grim Douglas Cobra, bring it on. I want yous 3-on-1, 1-on-1. I want yous all. Yous bug me.
You're going to be biting off more than you can chew.
I can chew a lot. A lot of cheese. Using nothing. As I've said, snap, crackle, and pop. All of yous.
Are you sure you want to say that, though, Big Cheese? You're Big Cheese. Listen, I know you're the Big Cheese.
Rev, stay out of this.
All right.
Yeah. You want your shot? Do you want to go?
I'll go. I'll dance with you, boy.
Okay. Any promoter on there wants to see it. Me and Cobra will give you a show like you've never seen before. And it's personal.
1-on-1.
1-on-1. None of your boys ringside, because that's all they cheat. Like they cheating Kenzie. Uncle Ralph cheating Kenzie. None of them boys at the side. Modern day mafia banned from ringside. Me and you in the ring will go.
Anytime, any place.
You'll certainly see. It ain't easy being cheesy. You'll see that.
Great.
Look at it and weep, boy.
It looked nice over this shoulder with this belt.
Bet it would. It's not going to happen, though, is it?
Time and a place, we'll see.
We will see. Over to you, Rev.
Cheese out, is it? Bye.
Bye.
Anything else you want to say here, Mr. Big Cheese, before we let you say goodbye here? Is there anything else you want to say? Are you sure this is what you want against Mr. Cobra?
This is what I want.
Is this personal now?
It's personal. Bullies.
No bully. I'm just
Bullies.
not going to roll over. We're not going to roll over for your cheese.
You're not. You're going to be pushed over. At the best.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to bring you back on, Mr. Big Cheese, May the 22nd. So you're going to get a further chance here. You're going to get one more crack at this, and I'm going to ask you those questions again after what we've seen tonight. Is this what you want? Because whether it's in the CWE, GT Ministries, you name the company, if this is what you want, I mean, I'll give you one more shot to say, is this what you want still? So there's some time. This is
what I want. Definitely want it.
All right. Well, Joshua Howard, if you're listening, I mean, certainly it's your call. Anybody else that's out there, any other company, any other promotion, you're out there. Anything else you want to say here, Mr. Big Cheese, before we say goodbye to you? Anything else that you'd like to say or promote? Okay. All right. Well, you know what? This is a different Big Cheese Logan, and certainly maybe for reasons understandable, we'll have to find out. You can follow the Big Cheese on YouTube at Mad Manx. Also, Big Cheese Logan on Instagram. Also, give him a friend request on Facebook as well. And he is also our CWE UK champion. And we'll definitely see you soon here, champ. All right, here. Well, we've got a few minutes with you, and I realize your time is precious. But Mr. Cobra, what's your reaction toward that?
Anytime, any place, any stipulation.
Okay. All right. Fair enough here. I do have some comments I want to run through here before I get to closing thoughts. Good evening, gentlemen, from Dustin Hart of CCW. You know, let me take a minute here before I get a chance with closing thoughts. And CCW, you know, I talked about earlier how impressive you guys were against the working class militia. And I've kind of wondered what's really happened since. And I mean, do we see maybe the Mafia and CCW again? And I have to ask, what's the future in CCW? And there's some other companies out there that are offshoots of CCW, and they have a draft coming up as well. Speaking of the WWE draft, we have a draft here in CCW, and we have Carnage Championship Wrestling, Coming Out Wrestling, and I mean, where does the Mafia fall into all this?
Wherever there's a tag team division, you'll find the Mafia. We'll challenge the best of your promotion, and we'll beat them, and we'll take your gold. It's that simple. So, Ronnie Thatcher, James Barras, you know where the phone is. Give us a call. Get a real tag team on there. Let's show you how to do some business, shall we?
Well, I'll tell you what. When the Diamond Exchange were a thing, they wouldn't have compared to the Mafia. We saw the militia and how they fell to the Mafia. We've seen the CWO and their problems now. So at this point, I don't think there's a tag team that could stand pound for pound with the modern-day Mafia. Uncle Ralph says, get well soon, Lawman. The MDM can relieve you of your title. Yeah, well, I think they still have the titles. I just think that the Lawman can't compete with the titles, but I think the point is well taken. AJ Graham will take your title, Cheese. Caps lock. So certainly people, they certainly are still with you guys. No one cheated. Gung Ho Muttley says, if the MDM ever want to step with me and Mav, they're more than welcome. That choke slam won't get me twice. Everybody wants you tonight. Everybody wants you guys, you know. Is that what they want? You think that these wrestlers that are challenging you tonight, you think they're going to regret this?
I get we've got a target on his back because we've got this. This gives us the biggest target on our back. We're the godfathers of tag team wrestling. We'll take on anybody. We don't care. We know what this entails. So Gung Ho and Maverick, a time, a place. Let's dance. And it won't get you a second time. It'll get you a third and a fourth until there's nothing left of your worthless body, gung-ho.
And the only thing that might be left is the mullet, because the mullet, you got to at least leave the mullet alone.
I'll leave the mullet. You can put it in the museum.
That's fair play, because there ain't too many people with mullets these days. So you got to let them have the mullet. Cobra versus Cheese, someone book it. And already the fear of business to be. Yeah, this was a different Big Cheese tonight. Big Cheese was different tonight. He wasn't jovial. He wasn't life of the party. He wasn't even cheesy. I mean, he was almost in a way, he was looking as if he had somebody that was mano a mano with him. Maybe he's the one who has the fear. Maybe he's cowering in fear tonight. That's what I learned.
We'll find out who the top cheddar is, won't we?
Fair play. MDM for life. Big Cheese, more like Baby Bell. After Douglas got the pin, I asked Kenzie to move so I could see the ref holding up his hand. Unfortunately, he slipped away from the apron. No cheating at all.
It's horrible. Them rings are slippy. Them rings are very slippy. And, he's only young. He's inexperienced.
No.
Maybe he just missed his footing.
Now, apparently, before I get to closing thoughts, I actually have one wrestling promotion, Joe Cobra, that has actually apparently taken notice of what we just saw tonight between you and the Big Cheese Logan and this kind of the battle of the CWE giants and champions. That is Brawl. The Brawl management team have been keeping an eye on the situation between Cheesy and Cobra. It may take an outside promotion to keep this as a fair fight. Now, what's your response to this company now, is it when it comes to Brawl, that more or less is saying, you know what? If we can do it and we can make this a fair and impartial fight, we'll be happy to host it. What's your response to this?
Drop me a message. Let's get it on.
Okay. Well, if you'd like to also give Brawl a message, you can do that on Instagram at Brawl_. It's what we do. So it's Brawl_. It's what we do. And they are the first company that has responded to this challenge between the Big Cheese Logan and Joel Cobra, the battle of CWE champions. And Joel Cobra, he's going to be in your chair, the Big Cheese Logan, on May the 22nd. So I'll ask him one more time. If this is something he still wants. And maybe by then, even Brawl will have an announcement that this could take place. Stay tuned. I don't know. Andrew says, another fantastic show as always. I appreciate that. Gung-ho, that choke slam, you will get more and more of. Cobra going to get you more than once, pal. Also, it appears here, I like this. I like the cheese references here. Cheese will melt in the heat, MD. Well, I think we asked the Big Cheese this question. He said it was like, I think he's had this happen in his pocket before it gets sweaty, and sometimes he tries to eat it on the 3-second rule. But in this case, I don't think that he'll have a chance with that. Big Cheese continues to reaffirm, don't bite off more than you can chew. It's the same happy cheesy. I just have to close down this MDM once and for all. I don't think that anybody's going to be closing you guys down, Mr. Cobra, especially with you and AJ, Uncle Ralph, and Dave. I don't see that happening anytime soon here. Cobra is a future world champion. You know what? That UK title, double champion. Listen, Joel 2 belts. Could be Joel 2 belts. I mean, listen, look good on you.
Blue is my color. Blue is definitely my color.
I'm not going to argue that. Neither no one will, I think, tonight that's watched and listened. But I know you're a busy man. You've got a lot on your plate. You've got dogs barking. You've got the Don. You've got Uncle Ralph. You've got who knows what other companies out there that is listening. So I want to give you the floor, champ. I want to give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, say, and the floor is yours. And if you got any extra remaining or parting shots for the Big Cheese, that floor is yours.
Well, first, I want to give a shout out, actually, to Lion's Den Supplements. They're based in Elland, in Halifax. It's where all champions get the protein, get the creatine. If you're in Halifax, check them out. Great guys, Billy and Addy. They'll look after you. Secondly, I want to give a thanks as well to iCupping in Huddersfield. Obviously, living like a champion, you need to feel like a champion. Get that full body MOT, which great guy over there in iCupping in Huddersfield. And back to business. June the 30th, BTW, I'm coming for your gold. So Jack Johnson, get it polished up. Secondly, GTM, there's a hell of a lot happening at GTM. Firstly, in June, they've got their all-female show. They're going to crown their first female champion. So that's going to be one of a kind in the UK. From female referees to female wrestler to female commentators, all female. So I hope
that is awesome. That is really cool. I hope that on Sportswire management would maybe grant us the opportunity to speak to some of the competitors and everybody else involved, because I think that's a really cool idea, by the way. Another great job by GTM as always.
So yeah, that comes up in June, and then I've got a list. You see, I've got a list now. It's hard work being a champ. It's hard work being a champ. Got to get all these people mentioned. You see, all these sponsors. So yeah, obviously there's a lot of work as well going on behind the scenes at GTM at the moment. We're actually making this a national. That's right, a national company.
Yes, I saw that, and I saw that we had Wrestling Church in April earlier this month, last month that took place, and it was at a different venue. We've seen a couple of different kind of really unique things with GTM. GTM is really going outside the Fountains Church in the city of Bradford, which I think is just a really genius idea.
Well, they've got Kent as well on I think it's the 11th of June. They're going to be in Kent, or the 10th of June. They're going to be in Kent at GTM.
A wrestling church.
A wrestling church down there. We've also got, now this one pains me, Rev, so bear with me for the emotion for this one. It does pain me a little bit. But we've got the tag title trophy tournament on the 20th of May show at GTM.
I know.
Due to injury, I couldn't compete. AJ Grimm was thrown in at the deep end against Money Mountain.
Yep.
I believe they've got the final against the Mullet, Gung Ho,
and Maverick Matt Williams. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, it's going to be one to watch, and I'll be watching it very closely. I'll be watching it very, very closely. So there's a lot of exciting things happening there at GTM, but mainly CCW, Carnage, Ronnie Thatcher. Give me a call. You talk a big game. Get a proper tag team. It's not hard. Ring my phone. Call me.
Yeah, I just don't know why Ronnie Thatcher, of all people, hasn't called you guys, because we've seen you guys in CCW. He saw firsthand what you guys did to the working class militia. I don't get that one.
I think it's the fact that he's scared. I think he's scared after when we first arrived at CCW, the militia wasn't there, and we beat up the majority of the roster. So, I mean, I don't blame him. I don't blame him. And yeah, June the 11th, breakout, open challenge, the modern day mafia, myself, Dave Douglas. Someone answer this challenge, because otherwise the crowd are just going to have lots of picture opportunities of the modern day mafia with this.
Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, business is certainly picked up these days when it comes to the modern day mafia, because you are pretty much going to see the mafia pretty much anytime, anywhere here. As Janet Jackson famously sang, because she sang a song that told a story about being everywhere, the modern day mafia are literally going to be everywhere here between the 20th of May till through the entire summer. If you're in CCW, Breakout Pro Wrestling, GT Ministries, the CWE, and Bolton Town Wrestling, plus many, many others, certainly get ready and stay out of their way, because I'll tell you that much, you're going to definitely want to see what the Mafia brings to the table. But apparently, I guess someone here would like to answer this open challenge. And this individual, who you know very well, Mr. Gareth Angel, says, I'll answer it. If I can get there in time from Kent, LOL. Finishing up and get to the bar, we have business to discuss. I guess that was a joke then. So I guess Gareth Angel, I was trying to maybe make it so I guess he's not joining, but maybe he's joining you guys at the bar. So I guess
he'll be having the free champagne as the champions party. And you know what it's like. You get gold, you get champagne, you get
yeah.
And
all right.
It's a hard life. This championship, life is hard, isn't it?
Well, it's a hard life, but I'll tell you what, it's a life that you have long deserved. It's a championship life that you have long fought for and thought about, and it's finally come to fruition. And that's why I want everybody to follow Joel Cobra on Instagram at Joel_Cobra. Also, Twitter, follow him. Give him a friend request on Facebook. Also, Lions Den Supplements, please follow him at LionsDen_Supplements. That's LionsDen_Supplements on Instagram. Please follow them. They do a great job. If you're in Halifax, out there, anywhere else, please go out and support them. They have a list of products that you're going to certainly want to find out here. Also, a fine show, Tom. Nice to see so many varied comments. Yeah, I think this was like the most varied comments I've had in a long, long time. And I think Mr. Angel said it and hit the nail on the head. Joel Cobra has joined the champions table, and you are certainly long overdue, well-deserved. And I think Mr. Cheese, if he continues the way he's going, is going to be knocked off that table and going to be pushed to the side if you get your hands on him, and the Mafia certainly has their way with him. But, champ, congratulations. Congratulations on a long overdue championship, a long overdue run of success ahead here in 2023. I hope to have you here quicker than the last appearance. I certainly know it ain't easy being a champion, as a quote to somebody else might say, but keep up the great work. I'm looking forward to the future of the Mafia here. Big things are ahead, and I can't wait to talk about it. And also you and these many other fine companies that we've had the pleasure to speak of here in Sportswire Radio. Congratulations again. Thank you for giving us this opportunity, and I look forward to speaking with you and watching you soon in the ring here soon.
Thank you, Tom.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was our CWE's Tag Team Champion from the Modern Day Mafia, Mr. Joel Cobra. And Joel's going to be in the ring here for a number of different great companies like GT Ministries, CCW, hopefully, Bolton Town Wrestling, June the 30th, Breakout Pro Wrestling. Also going to see him in the CWE because he's their tag team champion. Going to see him, I'm sure, in many other companies ahead. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce. If you're on sportnarium.com/player, you go back to your regularly scheduled programming. If you're also a follower of GT Ministries, May 20th Coronation, YouTube, Facebook, go and watch it. That's on GT Ministries UK. Also, CWE official _CWE_. Please support them. Championship Wrestling Entertainment. Also, Breakout Pro Wrestling, our friends over there. Also, CCW. Also, support. Also, the harder work is easier. Winning gets. Amen to all that. But if you're on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, I'll be back with more wrestling coverage 8 p.m. Thursday with Jenny Hayes, the Rock Idol of the UK. Thank you, everybody. Good night, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are on the number one global radio station that is